Are you saying that burnout is not a fruit of the Spirit?
Burnout is not a fruit of the Spirit.
Not saying no to certain things, it doesn't decrease our faith, it decreases our effectiveness.
What am I saying yes to that God never asked me for?
If you are hitting the bed so exhausted at night that you can't pray, you need to be saying no more than yes.
We don't even allow the space for the Holy Spirit to speak to us. We don't allow for that time to even step back.
Are you a jack of all trades at that time, master of none? And giving everything else the rest of your time, effort, and energy.
The leftovers.
Yeah.
Well, welcome back to another episode of Crazy Unbelievable Faith. I am your co-host, Brian Owen, alongside my wife, Kersha.
Hi.
Welcome. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Got our fancy new background. I don't have a plant coming out of my head as long as I sit over here. We're getting there. It's fine. So, hey, if you haven't seen or you haven't already followed, liked, done all, subscribed, all that stuff, please do. That's how our community grows. But especially as you listen to these things or you're watching them, if there's things of impact that you think, man, this would be helpful for somebody else, share it. That again is how the ripple effect of this this community grows. That was kind of the crux of this at the beginning of how do we grow this and how do we encourage other people, give hope to them?
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of the whole basis around this. So
Yeah.
Hopefully you find something of benefit through today's conversation. And if you do, and you can share that, please do so. Helps us grow the community for sure. So,
Yeah.
All right, what are we talking about today?
Well,
What's the big one
today
today?
we are going to be talking about how having a crazy amount of faith has its limits, why our capacity and saying no helps to protect our yes.
So capacity. And I'm thinking about even the day that we're just having, like, it's crazy. Like, we have X amount of time until we have to pick our kids up from things. It's like we all try to squeeze things in. And I know I, for sure, am totally guilty of overcommitting, overextending. I don't know what the word would be.
All of the above.
All of the above. Yeah, we can do
D
that.
is the right answer.
We can do that. And the reality is you end up doing none of them well.
Right. So not saying no to certain things, it doesn't decrease our faith, it decreases our effectiveness.
Wow. Just went deep right there.
Well, I mean,
okay.
Let's just call a spade a spade.
So unpack that a little bit.
Well, if you have a lot on your platter and you're constantly saying yes to everything, are you a jack of all trades at that time, master of none? Or are you trying to master the ones that need mastered and giving everything else the rest of your time, effort, and energy?
The leftovers.
Yeah. It's kind of like that demonstration of put your big rocks in first. And is the container full?
Should have had that visual knowledge.
I should have,
watching.
but we could find one.
Is the container full?
Is the container full? And then you put in some smaller rocks. Is the container full? No. And eventually you get to sand and then to water. And at the end of it, water still is able to seep in between all the rocks and the gravel and the sand. And it just shows that you still have capacity for things. But you have to put your effectiveness into your big things.
Well, prioritizing, as you said, like prioritizing those big rocks. And I mean, I think about, in my day-to-day job, in our activities with the kids, like we have countless friends that are so busy in, 2 and 3 and 4 sports. And it's like, you only have 2 kids. I mean, I love these people to death, but I'm like, how are you, how do you run all over town and to be late to this, to then be late to that, we were guilty of that. And I remember back when we were when our girls were in public school, gosh, like seems like forever ago.
Well,
but like,
even when they were in competitive cheer.
Well, competitive cheer, school, whatever, but you're getting up and it's like, there's just that immediate, like, we have to hit the gas pedal and go. Instead of, and I'm not saying you just whimsically go through, that's a big word. Whimsically.
Wow.
It's not like you just whimsically go through the day. I kind of like that word. And let it do it, because it'll punch you in the face. you have to have some kind of plan, but you don't want to just jump up and it's like, man, I got to hit the ground and I got to go all day long to that point. And then it's like, we got to the end of the day. And it's like, well, what did we do?
So are you saying that burnout?
And all your kids remember is, oh, we went to Chick-fil-A. It's like, oh, great. Yeah.
Are you saying that burnout is not a fruit of the Spirit?
Burnout is not a fruit of the Spirit. That would be true. Yeah.
Dang it. What about exhaustion?
Love, joy, kindness. Not one of them either. No.
Okay.
Didn't see that one in my Bible.
God works through our obedience.
Yeah.
Not either of those. And so that's a really big piece, I think, for all of us to remember, especially as we're kicking off 2026.
Yeah.
That it's okay to say no to the bonfire at the neighbor's house because you're already tired and you know you have a big day tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's okay to say no to that sport in this certain season of life. It's okay to say, sorry, we're not doing that.
And I get it. Some people have kids that are maybe the next Michael Jordan or the next Travis Kelce. That's great. Like, or Mahomes. That's awesome. And I pray and I hope the best. Not everybody falls in that boat. And so not feeling like you have to force all of these things
right.
or be everywhere. And I think that it kind of reminded me of our filter system that we run our values through.
Absolutely.
And it's kind of, obviously God is top, spending time with him. And then the next tier is Kersha and I. And if Kersha and I aren't right, other things don't happen. And then if Kersha and I are okay, and it's our immediate household. And if that's not jiving, then we have to say no to certain things. And there are times where it's like, gosh, we'd really like to go to XYZ event, but we've got a kid that's about to fall off the rails because they're stressed about something, or
they're exhausted because they've hit burnout.
Yeah, or they've flat out gone so long that it's like they need to sleep.
Right.
And sometimes mom and dad need to sleep.
Oh,
let's be real. Or mom, maybe more mom.
But
yeah, the time out.
Well, I want to bring us to Zechariah 4:6, where it says, "Not by might nor by power, but by my Spirit, says the Lord Almighty." And so that's just simply reminding us that our spirit is also a helpful guide in, are we almost at burnout? If you're almost at burnout, you need to be saying no more than what you're saying yes. If you are hitting the bed so exhausted at night that you can't pray, you need to be saying no more than yes.
Not so exhausted, but I still hit the bed. And
someone just likes to pray in his head when he's really tired. And not saying that
last night.
We're not all going to have days like that, because we're all human, right?
Yeah.
Just saying that can't be the consistent every Friday, Saturday, Sunday night, or Monday through Sunday. Because that's not moving us forward. That's just spinning our wheels. That's keeping us in neutral rather than getting us down the road towards our goals and ambitions. And really, honestly, like, closer to God. I know when I'm exhausted, I give God less, because then I can justifiably say in my head, well, I repent that I gave you less yesterday. And then God's grace is enough for me, right? Yeah. And so I've had to really learn over time that I need to give God my first and my last, and oftentimes everything throughout the day. Like, when it's a tough day, I will say, kids, mom's going to check out for a minute. And I go pray, like, God, give me the peace to get through the day.
Mommy has her timeouts. That's basically what it is. Mommy needs a timeout. But I think you'd mentioned it earlier, kind of circling back around to that, as we're kicking off the year. I mean, this is, we're started January here. We're recording this. I don't know when you're listening to this, but if it's still the beginning of the year for you, like, these New Year's resolutions come up, and today is the 9th of January. Like, some people have already broken those. And I'm not saying there's good or bad, right or wrong to New Year's resolutions or the word of the year or the word of, saying of the year. Those are great. And those are pieces to work towards. But don't beat yourself up so much where it's like, gosh, I have to be so rigid that if I don't do these things, like, it's just, it's just this continuous cycle.
Are you speaking from experience?
Yeah, a little bit. But I also feel like, as we're setting those things, it's also kind of looking at your calendar and saying, what are those big rocks? What are those big priorities I need to be inserting into my life first? We heard that we've heard over several years from Maxwell and Worldwide and teachings from like just people that have mentored us. Like it's just, you put the big rocks in first and then the other things will fall into place. And I even think, as we interviewed Pastor Sean, like, okay, we're going to homeschool. Like, what is it? How do we do this? And he's like, your biggest piece is to lead your kids to know the Lord. And it was like, and it was like, and that, the other things fall into place. I think the same thing goes for this. Like your priorities, you prioritize those things. You control the calendar. You don't let the calendar control you.
Right.
And I think that's where a lot of people get into, be it sports or theater or even their church. Like you can overextend yourself in church. Like our church has talked about that. Sean's talked about, the sabbatical component for people every 5 years, 5 years, I think it is.
Yeah.
He'll correct me. That's if I'm wrong, but I think it's every 5 years. Leadership, everyone on it, you take a sabbatical for a month, because you need that time, because we will sometimes overextend ourselves. And sometimes I say, well, I'm doing it for the Lord, or I'm doing it for this. Yes, but the burnout does happen.
Yeah. So let's talk about the next kind of big idea that brought us, is God assigns faith within limits that he designed, right? And so let's talk about like burnout at church, serving and overextending yourself and not knowing when to say like, hey, I need a few weeks off. That's really big when it's time for us to understand that we have a capacity, and everybody goes through different seasons at different times. Yeah. And everybody's capacity is different. I know that our capacity today to handle faithful stewardship of things that God has asked us to do looks very different than how it did 5 years ago.
And what's the saying? I was thinking about this. You're saying like, God will never give you more than you can handle.
But
see, yeah, we're both stumped on it. God will never give you more than you can handle.
But he helps you handle all the things that you've been given.
See, we both butchered it, but it's fine. No big deal.
It's okay. I just had to think about it.
It's the thought of, I can't do this. And oh my gosh, how do you guys have 5 kids? Well, I don't know. How do you have 1 kid? How do you, the people, oh my gosh, I am so busy and I have to take care of my cat. And it's like, your cat takes care of itself. Or I am busy, I have a goldfish. Or I'm busy, I have
some people do take
poker
cat
night.
walk.
Or, well, that's true. But it's like, we all think, because we're looking at it from our earthly lens, our earthly perspective of like, gosh, I just can't, I don't know how you do that. I don't know how you could afford to do that. I don't know how you, like, well, if you put your faith in someone higher than yourself, that tends to work out.
Well, God will give us his strength.
Correct.
To endure the day.
Correct.
One thing that I thought was really important was understanding that our capacity equals our spiritual first, emotional second, physical third, plus our relational limits. So if you notice that in that equation, it is spirit first, and then physical, and then external outside of your body, relational limits. And that is done in such a magnificent way that it helps us relay that our spirit has to be first. Like, we have to give to our spirit first before our spirit can give us and guide us the things that we need.
Kind of like what's the first fruits saying, like harvest time, you give, or we've had conversations with people too. It's like, how do you guys tithe? That was another topic that came up not too long ago, but like, how do you tithe XYZ? And it's like, well, that's just for us. This is what we do. And everyone has their own choice. But some people, it's like, I don't know how I could get that, like, because their budget is already maxed. And it's like, is it your budget or was it his? And I had to learn this. The hard way. Like, I was the most stubborn person about this. But I think the spirit, the first fruits of that, like, again, the beginning of the day, the end of the day, I think of it as bookending the day. Like, I want to kick off my day with that. And the days that don't, man, I feel like, even this morning, I felt like we just got up and it was like, boom, we were going because the kids had co-op today. I didn't set aside as much time in the morning that I should have, but I still got my devotional time in. It just looked differently today.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's okay.
Well, that's not being quite so rigid.
Yeah, a little bit. It's fine. See, the athletic side of me. That's
well. Oh yeah. Okay, so something that I want really, honestly, that I think is really important to point out is that faith isn't proven by how much we carry, but by what God actually asked you to carry.
I'll say that again. Faith isn't proven by how much you carry, but by what God actually asks you to carry.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I think I need to do this. I think, well, okay, did you stop and pray about it? Is he really asking you to do that? Oh, I need to volunteer. Oh, I need to go help this. Oh, I need to, we all have that giver spirit, I don't know, servanthood. Thank you. But there's also, it's not everything is hinged on you. If I don't do this these could all fall apart. No. Things will come into place.
God will put people in place.
People will step up
where their strengths are, if they're listening. If they're just going on their own accord, that's when we'll find mishaps and we'll fall into weaknesses, and other things will fall from that, But I just think that it's really important, even when you look back at Jesus' time here on earth, he had boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
When he needed to be alone, he
pulled away
and spent time alone,
secluded himself.
And that's okay. And I think we all need some alone time, not just alone time in our own brain, but alone time in the spirit.
I would love to, our viewers, even, or listeners, just challenge you of, stepping away. We've talked about where do we get recharged, things like that, but it made me think, as you're talking about stepping away and kind of saying no, I think it was Bill Gates that takes a week and literally disappears to some little cabin somewhere and just reads. He's an avid reader, but he'll just, no technology, whatever. And it was maybe him or he was, anyway, regardless, it's the thought of I'm breaking away from things and I'm saying no to that. I also think about the example where we know directly from John Maxwell, the last week of the year that literally does nothing, does not travel, doesn't have engagements, but he is reflecting that entire week, 3 to 4 days of starting from January 1st to December, whatever, where all did he go? And I think, I'd love to challenge all of us, in 25, what worked well? What was a success? What did we glean fruit from? What filled you? And then as we move into 26, maybe what do I keep in place? Maybe what do I take out of that and in place put in a new rock that might open a door to somewhere else? I don't know.
Yeah. No, I just think it's really important that no is a faithful thing. Saying no to certain things is an act of faith.
Maybe.
God doesn't need us to be overcommitted and stretched and feeling vulnerable and weak in every aspect of our life.
What if a friend calls and says they need help moving? Do you say no?
I think you assess. I think that's where we miss.
Say no.
Gosh, I think that's where we miss the. Am I overcommitted or am I not?
Yeah.
We fail to sit and assess. Is this something I need to do, or could somebody else do this?
Correct.
Going back to the teaching of if somebody can do it 80% as good as you, let it be done.
Yeah.
Wow.
I have some flashbacks of that. Kersha mowing our yard one time when I have a landscape business. Heart palpitations. It's 80% as good as me. It's fine. It's totally fine. Yeah.
I left a skid mark in his backyard, guys. It was the backyard, not the front.
Better than in my shorts.
Nobody was seeing it.
No skid marks in my shorts.
Oh my gosh. Did we just go there?
It's fine. It's all right. It was in the grass. It's fine. But no, I do think
it was in the grass.
You were saying
you shouldn't.
You were saying the ability to say no to people. I think there are a lot of people, no is not in their vocabulary.
Right.
And they will bend over backwards. They are a people pleaser. I'm guilty of that. I went through.
I think you can still be a person that is willing to take the shirt off, give the shirt off of your back to help somebody.
Some of us have 2 shirts on, so I have an extra. So it's fine. So,
but I think that it's just learning that the countercultural idea is you say yes to everything. But the godly idea is yes to everything leaves us no margin for miracles. And we all want to see miracles, right? We all want to be that that king or queen in a chess game that is at the front line watching those miracles take place. We want to be able to see those and be a witness to God and a testament, have an attestment to him. I just think it's really important that we leave margin for no.
Yeah. Well, that no, what margin does that lead?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like if it, again, and you don't know until you do it. Because again, a door could open to something. Maybe during that, it's just, again, we don't know. There could be something in your family that if you had said yes and it took you somewhere, maybe somebody in your family needed you. But again, it's all what if. I know that's hypothetical, but there's a lot of aspects to know.
But I mean, this week I was reading Matthew 5, and verse 37 specifically says, "Let your yes be yes and your no mean no."
Yeah. Well, boundaries.
Yeah.
In essence.
Yeah.
And
having great boundaries allows for a healthy capacity that allows when you feel like you are at the end of the day, you still have room to give. And I think that is just really important for all of us as believers, as human beings. It gravely reduces the amount of anxiety people would have because they would have time to breathe.
Well, people are so, and I don't want this taken the wrong way. I'm not getting on a soapbox that people are medicated, but it's like we have medicated people because they're so anxious. There's so much anxiety of, I've got to be in all of these things. To your point, like we don't even allow the space for the Holy Spirit to speak to us. We don't allow for that time to even step back. And there was a nugget in there of what are we, hang on. It was, what are we saying yes to? What are we saying yes to? Gosh, where'd that go? And you see, you're scrolling. I can't, what's happening here? There was anyway, what am I saying yes to that God never asked me to do something? Like that wasn't even asked of him. So again, kind of that reflection component that you were saying, like, is this really from God? Did God really ask me to do that? Or am I just manifesting that and just kind of pushing myself through this because, well, we've just always done this. So I'm just going to do it that way again. Just,
that doesn't allow room for maturity.
No. Yeah. What am I saying yes to that God never asked for? There it is. Gosh, see? Never stop scrolling.
I'm sitting here.
What am I saying yes to that God never asked me for? It's good reflection piece.
Yeah, it really is.
But I think, again, just around the capacity piece, this is just kind of a short one just to kind of, again, kick part of the year off. But as you're thinking and kind of visualizing 2026, what are those big rocks, back to kind of your analogy at the beginning? And then what are those kind of tier 2 or the next size, the pieces of gravel that can fit in? And then, take the next tier. Well, what's the sand that can still fit in around there?
And then the salt.
Oh, geez. Yeah.
Do you remember having
we had about
7 containers of salt?
12 pounds of salt from a business conference we were at. And this analogy was done in person and running around all over the place. And it was just like, oh man, yeah, I think we still have salt from that.
No, I threw it away.
I'm pretty sure we still do it. Because here's other things. Do expiration dates really mean anything to people?
Honey,
there's suggestions.
That was like in 2018.
Milk has an expiration date for sure, but that's but again, as you're looking at
honey,
no, not as natural.
Oh, okay.
No, not as natural.
I was just going with the milk and honey.
If you're looking at that, you're at a glance for yourself. Some of you are already doing that. Some of you have done it. Some of you are
in the trenches.
Yeah.
And maybe on the verge of, have I set my goals too far?
Yeah.
just reassess them.
Yeah.
Pull back and stay within your capacity
Yep.
and let your capacity grow to a bigger strength of what it is. You know, so many people are like, how do you have 5 kids? And I'm like, well, my capacity grew with each child. And then it didn't double with the twins. It exponentially grew with the twins, because twins aren't just twice the amount of work. They're exponential, the amount of work.
Yeah.
And that's okay. Like, I'm very thankful and very blessed to say that I have twin boys,
Yeah.
you know, but my capacity really grew during that time frame. And then the following year, we started building a house.
Yeah.
And so then my capacity really grew. Then I was a new mom to 5. I was a new mom to homeschooling, and I was building our second house.
And gosh, your husband travels for work. How do you guys do it?
Oh,
What are you doing?
No, during that time frame, we weren't down.
That was
my capacity grew immensely because it did no fault.
You could be on a conference call. You could tag team. You can be on a conference call and change the diaper, whatever. That's fun. Yes, but again, I think this is just hopefully to give hope and encouragement to those as you're looking at your year. And again, not overcommitting yourself and staying within your boundaries and being okay with saying no. So again, if something resonated out of this, please share it with others. That's how our community continues to grow. Thank you for another opportunity to share with you on Crazy Unbelievable Fate episode. Have a great day.
Bye.